Daryl, thank you very much for joining us. Obviously, this is going to be our sort of new post-match, as I'm not allowed to travel to games at the moment. So just starting off, obviously yesterday a defeat to Sutton United in the FA Trophy. How did you see the performance overall?
Probably overall rusty, off the pace where we have been, which to a certain extent is understandable when you consider the layoff we've had. I thought the first half performance was good. We controlled the game really well, passed the ball really, really well. Didn't make enough of the ball in the final third with some probably poor decisions and a bit of poor quality. Second half, once Sutton scored, it was always going to be difficult because they're a very good counter-attacking team. And we huffed and puffed really second half and didn't really get going.
And like you said, we did really dominate the play in the first half without creating too much. But Sutton sort of did the opposite. They didn't have a lot of the play, but managed to create the chances. Yeah,
I think we were open because we looked at trying to, because of the way the pitch is as well, to try and control the game. And normally in possession, when you're trying to pass it, you want your team to be expansive and open to create more space to play in. And we knew we had to be good with the ball because on the turnover, we knew they'd be dangerous. We spoke about it before. And they are. Listen, they're a decent team. And I felt that we went that way to play and try and keep the ball and move the ball, especially after the period we've had off. I wanted us to go and express ourselves and move the ball. And I thought for large parts of that first half, it worked well without really, really being killer in the final third. And we probably times in the final third overplayed. You know, if you look at Sutton's first goal, the striker's turn had a shot from 25 yards. And we actually spoke about at half time for ourselves that I can think of 3 or 4 opportunities we had in the first half to shoot. And we try and find another pass. And sometimes just have a shot. You know, you've already had 10, 12 passes. I think we need to take responsibility and have some shots sometimes. But no, disappointing to lose. I'm hoping that it's blown a few cobwebs out. We haven't played since Boxing Day. We've had 3 proper training sessions since Boxing Day, which is a long time. And it's unusual to have, not 1 or 2 players out. It's been the whole squad at home for 2 weeks isolating. So hopefully we move forward now.
I'd say that must be a factor, not to try and make any sort of excuses, but having such a large period off and coming back in must have played a factor.
I'm sure it did. We don't want to make any excuses. As I keep saying, it's going to happen to everyone. On top of that as well, from Boxing Day, we've lost, Abs, Westy, Clarkey, who all been big players in this run we've been on, that we're without them. But like I said to you before the Sutton game, I'm going to say again, is that players who come into the team have to step up to the plate. And there's no hiding place at 3 o'clock on Saturday or 7 o'clock on Tuesday night. Everybody can see your performance as individuals. And it's really important that players who want to play, who've been unhappy not playing or have been out injured and waiting for an opportunity, when they get their opportunity, they've got to take it. Because as a football club, we want to move forward. And a match day shows what you've been doing. And I think it's important now players grasp the nettle and perform.
You talk about players coming in and sort of taking their chances. Elliot Johnson, one of those players that sort of hasn't been involved for the last two games that we've had previous to the isolation, came in sort of maybe in a little bit of a different position for him, right centre half. He started out at. How did you sort of see him and his versatility that he showed?
Yeah, I think El can play anywhere across the back line and wing back. He's an intelligent player, and he's a clever footballer. He slots in. I think he's come into his own really probably in the last 6 weeks as well. I think if I look back at big performances we've had, Weymouth away, Torquay away, Ebbsfleet at home, he played left centre half. I think he played well, and he had a decent game again yesterday. He's a good player, and like I said, we've got many good players, and we got some coming back now with Joey Jones, etc. So I've got some decisions to make in terms of personnel, but we need everyone to be ready to rock and roll going through this period because we've got a lot of games coming up.
I said a lot of games coming up. Bouncing back will be the aim against Stockport on Tuesday, I guess, but it's not going to be an easy one, is it?
No, they're probably the best squad in the division when you look at it on paper. I think if you look at the players they've signed and bought during the summer and January as well, they signed a lot of good players in January before we locked down. They've bought players from League Two clubs. I'm sure they've got the best training ground in the league. I know they train at Man City's old training ground that I've been to once or twice at Macclesfield last season. Hydro pools, gyms, it's outstanding, to be fair. It's a Premier League training ground. They're a good club, they're a good team. They're having a decent season, but when you look at the league table, we're 6 points behind them. We know it'll be a tough game, but we want to go and acquit ourselves now at home on Tuesday night and get back to winning ways.
I say we know their centre forward very well as well, don't we? From sort of having him in last summer, Alex Reid.
Yeah, really played like the 7 games for us. When I come in, we signed him obviously in January. Great lad, top lad, and he's a good goal scorer. He's a poacher, good pace. We'll have to keep him quiet. Bennett up front, Rooney, good players. The Jennings brothers have won promotion as well. They've got a very good team. Crowsdale, they've signed 3 or 4 from Salford. They've got a very, very strong side, and it will be a tough game. But if we want to be a team now that wants to be involved in challenging at the top end of the table, which we want to do. Last season we were quite a way off Stockport. This time last year, I don't know, you probably know more than me, George. I can't remember, but how many points we were off the playoffs in January last year compared to where we are now. Mm-hmm. I would imagine it was at least 10 points more than we are now, at least. So we're close to where we want to be, but we've still got huge strides to catch, I think, some of them teams, and it'd be a big test for us Tuesday night, but one we're looking forward to.